Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. I need you to pause right here. Do not let your thumb move another inch. This is not the algorithm playing a random trick on you. This is an urgent divine interception. Heaven has personally routed this exact message to your screen because a massive shift is happening right now. If you leave now, you will single-handedly shut the door on the exact revelation your spirit has been crying out for. You have been feeling incredibly exhausted lately. Your spirit has been restless in the middle of the night. You wake up feeling heavy and entirely isolated, and you think it is just normal stress. It is not normal stress. People around you are acting very strangely. Funny how everyone pretended they did not see you coming, but behind closed doors, a large group of people is secretly whispering about you. They are watching every single move you make. They are whispering that you are highly intelligent and dangerously unpredictable. They are absolutely terrified. They always described you the exact same way. They called you too sensitive. They called you too quiet. They thought you were the one who would always stay silent to keep the fragile peace. And because of your profound kindness, they severely underestimated you. They pushed you into a dark corner and expected you to break down completely. They wanted you to surrender to their daily manipulation, but you did not break. You evolved in the dark. The painful isolation they forced upon you became a rigorous spiritual crucible. It was specifically designed to protect your aura from their toxic attachments. Heaven had to ruthlessly remove those counterfeit connections from your timeline. It was the only way to build an invisible shield around your massive potential. Now, they are panicking. The same people who ignored your texts and drained your energy are suddenly feeling incredibly uncomfortable around you. They cannot look you in the eyes anymore. Your quiet presence alone shifts the entire atmosphere of any room you walk into. Your silence has become a heavy weapon that suffocates their fragile ego. They can no longer manipulate what they cannot access. Welcome to your era of absolute quiet authority. You are the anomaly they cannot figure out. The spiritual power radiating from your mind is blinding to those who choose to live in the dark. But there is still a block. Despite this incredible power, you still feel a strange emptiness deep inside your chest. You know you are meant for something much greater. You watch ordinary people succeed effortlessly while you struggle with invisible chains. The finances refuse to grow despite your endless hard work. The learning process feels slower than it should be. You feel completely locked out of your own limitless potential, and it hurts deeply. You have tried every spiritual practice available to humanity. You tried meditation and endless journaling. You prayed until you had absolutely no words left. But your daily life still feels blocked by an invisible concrete wall. Stop blaming yourself for this. You sense that something crucial is missing, but you have no name for what it actually is. Stop thinking you did something wrong. You are not being punished by the universe. The gap between you and the people who seem effortlessly blessed is not a matter of strict discipline. It is not about your faith. You are doing everything right. Before we go any further, I want to hold something very profound in front of you. Listen carefully to this next part. There is a hidden secret that was discovered entirely outside of the spiritual community. It was not found in a church or a quiet healing retreat. It was discovered deep inside a highly funded research laboratory. It is something that won the highest scientific recognition available in the modern world. And most chosen ones have never been told about this discovery. This scientific breakthrough explains exactly what you have felt your entire life. It perfectly explains the painful gap between the person you know yourself to be and your daily reality. It bridges the gap between your true soul and the limited version of you that only appears in brief flashes. I will show you exactly what the researchers found. But I cannot reveal it just yet. First, I need you to fully understand what was ruthlessly taken from you. I need you to realize how the system deliberately shut down your highest frequency. So I need you to hold this one critical question in your mind as we continue our journey today. Do not let this question fade away into the background. What if the massive gap in your life is not a character flaw at all? What if this missing link actually has a scientific name? You walk into a crowded room and feel entirely alone. You are surrounded by people, but you feel completely invisible because their empty conversations drain your sacred energy immediately. You choose to stay quiet. They look at your silence and they mistake it for severe weakness. They think you have absolutely nothing valuable to say, but they are completely wrong. Your silence is a massive fortress. You do not speak because their shallow words carry no real frequency. You stay quiet to protect your sacred energy from their desperate need for attention. A healed person no longer tolerates deep confusion disguised as normal conversation. You have become the empath with heavy boundaries. You observe everything without absorbing their chaos. They try to pull you down to their level because your quiet presence exposes their deep insecurities. They truly hate you for shining a bright light on their hidden darkness. You have survived terrible storms entirely alone. You became the heavy weapon you were desperately trying to survive while they were busy playing silly games. And while they think you are just antisocial, you analyze every detail. But even with this powerful protection, you feel a deep frustration. You know exactly how highly intelligent you truly are. You experience sudden flashes of brilliant clarity. In those rare moments, complex problems solve themselves with zero effort because you are briefly tapping into a much higher timeline. You feel like a true master of reality, and then the heavy fog rolls back in. You feel the massive weight of unfulfilled potential dragging you down. It is a physical ache in your chest. You have brilliant ideas that could change your entire life in a matter of weeks, but when you try to execute them, your brain feels like it is walking through thick mud. The motivation simply vanishes before you can take a single meaningful step forward. You wonder why you cannot hold on to that brilliant state of mind. You watch people with half your talent walk right through open doors, while you sit there constantly waiting for your grand breakthrough to finally arrive. Here is what they never told you. The reason the universe responds effortlessly to certain people is not pure luck. It is absolutely not about their daily discipline. Scientists actually have a specific name for it. They call it gamma, and it is the exact frequency your brain was running when you were a small child. Think back to when you were very young. Learning new things felt completely effortless to you. You had a profound intuition that could not be easily explained, and you somehow knew things before they even happened in the physical world. The world felt like it was completely on your side. That was the raw power of the gamma brainwave. It was your natural spiritual birthright. But then you grew up. The modern world slowly went to work on your brilliant mind. The rigid school systems trained you to conform instead of creating. They demanded strict obedience, and they punished your wild and beautiful imagination. They told you that life was supposed to be hard and painful. They convinced you that struggling was the only honorable way to live, so you accepted the heavy burden of constant daily stress. You let the daily anxieties of paying bills override your deep spiritual connection. The survival matrix hijacked your nervous system. It locked you out of the divine, energetic flow. The chronic stress of daily survival started to take over your entire life. The endless screens and the constant noise disrupted your natural rhythm. Every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed a little further. It was pushed deeper and deeper below the surface of your conscious mind. The modern world literally forced you to operate in a very low and heavy frequency. Your natural genius was slowly buried under heavy layers of deep exhaustion. The version of you with lightning intuition went completely silent. The version of you with a photographic memory faded away into the dark background. The profound luck that used to make others whisper just stopped showing up entirely. You lost the exact frequency that made everything in your life so effortless. You sit in absolute silence and watch less talented people climb to the top. They do not have your deep empathy or your profound spiritual vision, yet they seem to attract money and opportunities completely effortlessly, while you struggle just to keep your head above the rising water. And you start to wonder if heaven simply forgot about your existence, but you refuse to accept that lie. Most people will live their entire lives without ever knowing this happened to them. They will accept the heavy fog as a normal part of getting older, but you are not most people. Your spirit always knew that something was violently taken from you without your consent. You felt the painful absence of your true cognitive power every single day of your adult life. That is why the universe deliberately brought you to this exact moment. The deep exhaustion you feel is just the symptom of this suppressed frequency, and the profound question I asked you to hold earlier is still waiting for you. The question about a massive gap and a hidden name. The answer to why your genius was locked away is much closer than you think. You look around your daily life and wonder why the circle is so incredibly small. You have lost many friends over the past few difficult years. You watched people walk completely away from you without a single logical explanation, and you naturally blamed yourself for their sudden departure. You thought your unique frequency was just too difficult for them to handle. But that is a complete lie designed to keep you feeling weak. The profound loneliness you feel right now is not a heavy curse. It was never a cruel punishment for your past mistakes. Heaven deliberately slowed your life down to protect you from toxic rooms you were never meant to enter. Your current isolation is actually a divine isolation. It is a massive, energetic quarantine, beautifully designed by the caring universe, because the Creator had to forcefully remove those people from your timeline. They were secretly assigned to drain your vital energy every single day. They were sent by the darkness to keep your beautiful vibration low and heavy. A healed person no longer tolerates deep disrespect, disguised as pure honesty. You finally learned exactly how to build solid walls around your sacred heart. And because of that strong boundary, heaven can finally begin the massive upgrade process you truly deserve, while they remain completely stuck in their old toxic cycles. Every single closed door was actually a massive protection protocol in disguise, and every unanswered text was a profound blessing that saved you from deep spiritual warfare. You did not lose those toxic people. They completely lost access to the rare soul that you truly are. You are the profound anomaly that they could never manipulate for their own selfish financial or emotional gain. And that is exactly why they had to be removed before this next massive chapter begins. You must understand that the universe is actively working in your favor right now. It is aggressively clearing the heavy debris from your future path. It takes a massive amount of raw courage to walk this lonely road entirely by yourself, but you are not walking it blindly anymore. You are finally waking up to your power. Your quiet authority is getting stronger and much sharper every single day. But before we dive deeper into the hidden mechanism that blocks your potential, we must seal this current energy. You must lock this profound realization into your physical reality immediately. Do not let the dark forces convince you that this is just another random video. You need to anchor yourself to this exact frequency right now before the enemy tries to distract your beautiful mind again. Hit subscribe to establish a divine energy receiving station immediately. Tap the like button as an act of absolute agreement with heaven. This creates a powerful energy shield around your aura. It physically protects you from the heavy chaos of the modern world. You are actively signaling to the universe that you are fully ready to receive your massive generational blessing right now. Every physical action you take in this crucial moment creates a massive ripple in the spiritual realm. When you secure your connection to this sacred channel, You block the negative interference from those who secretly hate your bright light. They want you to remain deeply confused and entirely isolated, but you are building an impenetrable fortress of pure light around your fragile nervous system today. Let that beautiful truth settle deeply into your tired bones. Take one very slow and intentional breath right now. Feel the heavy burden of false guilt completely leaving your tight shoulders. The people who abandoned you were merely a spiritual test of your deep faith. And you passed that rigorous test with absolute flying colors, proving that you would rather stand alone in the pure light than sit comfortably in the dark. The deep pain of being heavily misunderstood is finally coming to an absolute end. The divine isolation has successfully completed its main protective purpose. Your sacred aura is incredibly clean and heavily protected from their desperate daily manipulation. You are completely ready for the massive restoration that is rushing toward you. But there is a deeper layer to this strange phenomenon that you must completely understand. There is a very specific reason why they targeted you in the first place. They did not attack you because you were small or weak. They targeted you because your inner light was incredibly blinding to their dark spirits. They recognized the immense power sleeping quietly inside your DNA long before you even knew it existed. They knew that if you ever woke up, their heavy control over you would be completely destroyed. You are no longer the fragile empath who constantly begs to be deeply understood by the completely wrong people. The painful crucible of the past year has forged you into something much stronger and incredibly dangerous to the darkness. You are becoming the absolute master of your own reality. And from this moment on, your pure energy demands immediate respect without a single word ever being spoken aloud. The people who constantly doubted your massive potential will have to watch your incredible rise in absolute silence. They will see the glorious manifestation of every single thing you quietly prayed for during those lonely nights. Your divine isolation was just the quiet waiting room for your ultimate victory. The universe was simply clearing the crowded stage so that everyone could clearly see you shine. Let us look closely at the shallow crowd you left behind. They operate entirely on low beta waves of constant fear. They constantly compete for scraps of attention in their daily lives. Their minds are filled with loud noise and completely meaningless gossip. They are the narcissists who desperately drained your precious energy. They need constant noise to hide their deep inner emptiness. You are completely different. You crave absolute silence. You seek deep spiritual truth in everything you do. The contrast between you and them is incredibly stark. They build their entire identity on fragile external validation. They wear expensive masks to hide their severely broken spirits. They feed on heavy drama because they cannot produce any real light. That is why they attach themselves to you so desperately. They saw your brilliant potential and they wanted to steal it completely. But heaven built a heavy wall around your beautiful soul. They thought they were hurting you by walking completely away. They thought their sudden silence would destroy your fragile confidence. But they were actually doing you a massive favor, because their heavy toxic energy was acting as a thick spiritual block. It was actively suppressing your true cognitive power. It kept your brain trapped in a very low survival frequency. Now they are watching you from a far distance. They see that you did not shatter into tiny pieces. You stood up taller and much stronger than ever before. You became the cycle breaker your entire bloodline desperately needed. And they are absolutely terrified of the quiet power you now hold. Your silence is a massive threat to their chaotic daily existence. When you finally established your heavy boundaries, they completely panicked. They called you arrogant and extremely difficult to deal with. They tried to make you feel guilty for simply protecting your own pure energy. But you refused to play their sick little games anymore. You stepped completely out of their low vibration matrix. That was the exact moment your profound healing finally began. They do not hate you because you made a terrible mistake. They absolutely hate you for exposing their deep mediocrity. Your mere existence reminds them of the immense potential they completely threw away. You are a walking mirror that reflects their own painful insecurities back at them, and that is a burden they simply cannot carry. So they chose to completely isolate you from their circle. But this isolation was heaven setting the grand stage for your ultimate rise. You were separated from the herd because you are a rare soul. You are a weapon of light, forged in the heavy fires of profound betrayal. And while they continue to spiral down into their own shallow drama, you are preparing for a massive cognitive upgrade. But there is a deeper physical reality beneath this spiritual warfare. And before we go any further, I have to tell you something very important. It is something the people who profit from your exhaustion do not want you to know. The spiritual attack you survived actually caused a massive neurological block. The constant stress of dealing with their toxic behavior shut down your highest frequency. But science has proven that this severe damage is entirely reversible. A team of neuroscientists working quietly away from the loud headlines has found the key. They have discovered exactly how to bring this dormant brainwave back to life. And it does not involve years of difficult meditation that most ordinary people cannot sustain. It does not require expensive biofeedback machines in a sterile clinical setting. It is achieved through something far simpler and much more elegant. It is a solution perfectly aligned with how your brilliant brain was originally designed to work. Researchers at Princeton University studied this exact phenomenon for many years. They found the hidden link between this suppressed frequency and the profound intuition you had as a young child. The Einstein Center in Berlin later confirmed this incredible discovery. They proved that the legendary flow state is driven entirely by this specific energetic wave. And scientists at Columbia University discovered something even more shocking about this frequency. They found that when this brainwave is fully reactivated in a chosen one, it does not stop with you alone. The powerful signal radiates outward from your brilliant mind. It begins to positively influence the people you truly love. It impacts your children and your closest loyal partners. It creates an invisible shield of high intelligence and deep calm around your entire family. The ancient keepers of this frequency always knew this was physically possible. Now modern science is finally catching up. They discovered a specific sound frequency engineered to guide your brainwave patterns. It gently pulls your mind back to the genius state you were born with. You just put on your headphones and let the frequency do the heavy lifting. You do not need to chant or struggle with your racing thoughts. You just sit in perfect silence and receive the divine upgrade. It takes just 7 minutes of your day. That is the only requirement to reverse years of heavy mental suppression. And it begins working the very first time you listen to it. The profound clarity you have been begging for is not lost forever. It is simply locked behind a heavy door in your own mind. And this specific frequency is the exact physical key to open that heavy door. The complex problems that used to cause you severe anxiety will solve themselves automatically. You will finally feel the powerful universe shifting completely in your favor. I promise to reveal this incredible secret to you today. I will tell you exactly what this powerful tool is called later in this message. You will know exactly how to activate your sleeping potential before this video finishes. But there is a massive spiritual trap you must be warned about first. There is a very dangerous illusion waiting for you just before the glorious dawn. You can feel the heavy atmosphere shifting around you right now. Your physical body is already preparing for this massive cognitive upgrade. The universe never sends a profound solution without preparing the chosen vessel first. Your spirit is actively rejecting the low frequencies of your painful past, while your nervous system slowly adapts to a much higher vibration. you are experiencing very strange physical and emotional symptoms, and you desperately need to understand exactly what these heavy changes truly mean for your future. There are 3 profound signs that your vibration is changing rapidly. These are absolute proof that your sleeping genius is finally waking up after years of suppression. Number 1 is the sudden disruption of your normal sleep cycle. You frequently wake up at 3 in the morning with your mind completely racing, and you cannot seem to find any peace in the dark. The modern doctors will quickly tell you it is just normal insomnia or severe anxiety, but they are completely wrong. That early morning hour is the exact moment the spiritual veil is the absolute thinnest. Your brain is desperately trying to access the gamma state, while the loud world is deeply asleep, and you are receiving massive spiritual downloads. Number 2 is a sudden and intense disgust for superficial environments. You literally feel sick to your stomach when someone starts gossiping near you. Your body entirely rejects their toxic energy. You used to tolerate those shallow conversations just to fit in nicely with the ordinary crowd. Now your nervous system violently rejects anything that lacks deep spiritual substance because you are vibrating at a completely different frequency than them. Number 3 is the constant appearance of divine synchronicities. You are seeing repeating numbers like 111 and 777 everywhere you go. This is not a random coincidence at all. The universe is explicitly confirming your new timeline. The heavy darkness that surrounded you for years is finally retreating. The dawn of your new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown, and you must physically claim this massive energetic shift right now. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this alignment. Do it immediately to seal this powerful reality into your physical world. This simple action creates a heavy anchor for your incoming blessing. You are officially stepping into the exact timeline you were born to rule. The universe is aligning a massive collision of beautiful events just for you, but you cannot let your guard down for a single second. The desperate enemy knows exactly how close you are to absolute victory, and they are extremely terrified of what happens when you fully restore your lost frequency. They have one final trick to play. I must warn you about a fatal trap that is being set up right now. It is placed perfectly right at the finish line of your painful journey, and 99% of chosen ones fall for this exact illusion. The dark forces do not want you to hear these next crucial words. If you lose focus now, you will fall right back into the heavy beta wave matrix of pure survival. The darkness no longer attacks you with obvious fear or heavy trauma. You are entirely too smart and heavily protected for those old tricks to work on you anymore. Instead, they use a highly deceptive illusion to quietly derail your massive progress, and they will send something that looks exactly like a beautiful blessing. It will perfectly mimic the exact thing you have been quietly praying for, but it is a dangerous counterfeit. If you blindly accept this fake offering, your true blessing will be severely delayed. They want you to settle for the cheap imitation of your massive destiny, so you must recognize this specific trap before it ruins everything. I am going to reveal the exact nature of this dark illusion very soon. You must stay highly vigilant and keep your eyes completely open. Take one deep breath and center your pure energy. Do you feel that slight pull in your heavy chest right now? That is your powerful intuition confirming every single word of this divine truth. Pay close attention to this next part, because it will absolutely save you from making a massive mistake. The spiritual warfare is reaching its absolute peak, but they cannot stop the massive wave of divine wealth that is rushing toward your life. They can only hope you blindly surrender. The universe is fiercely protecting your upcoming energetic transfer from the dark forces. Heaven is actively watching how you respond to this intense pressure, and they want to see if you will stand firm in your quiet authority. Will you fold and accept the easy counterfeit? Your ancestors are watching you break the heavy generational curses right now. You are doing the sacred work that your entire bloodline was entirely too afraid to do. You have fought entirely too hard to give up at the final heavy door. Your rare soul has endured the most brutal storms imaginable, and you will not be fooled by their cheap magic tricks today. The exact physical key to unlock your hidden genius is almost in your hands. You just need to walk right past this one final illusion. Hold your heavy ground and wait for the ultimate revelation. The incredible secret I promised to share with you is almost here. I know you are deeply anxious to finally hear the scientific name of this tool. You want the exact physical key to unlock your suppressed genius right now, but I must deliberately withhold it for just a few more moments. If I hand you this massive power while you still carry the heavy trauma of your past, it will completely destroy your fragile nervous system. You must entirely purge the old toxic energy before you can safely hold the new frequency. The universe cannot pour pure gold into a cup that is still filled with bitter poison. You have to completely let go of the heavy anger you still hold against the people who betrayed you. Stop holding on to the painful memories of their terrible disrespect. They do not deserve a single ounce of your precious mental real estate anymore. Here is the absolute truth you have been waiting for. I told you earlier that they were secretly whispering about your high intelligence. The real reason they walked away was not because your frequency was too low. It was because your pure light was entirely too blinding for their fragile egos. That was the hidden protection protocol working perfectly. They literally could not survive in the high spiritual atmosphere that you naturally breathe. They rejected you because your deep authenticity felt like a massive threat to their fake lives. And now the heavy wheels of divine karma are finally turning against them. The universe is actively balancing the sacred scales right now. Those who maliciously plotted against you are watching everything they proudly built slowly crumble to the ground. They are experiencing the exact same deep isolation they maliciously forced upon you. You do not need to lift a single finger to seek revenge. Your quiet authority is already doing the heavy work for you. Their lives are completely falling apart while heaven is preparing a massive table for you in their very presence. They thought their cruel betrayal would permanently break your bright spirit, but it actually activated a primal and dangerous level of spiritual power deep inside your soul. You are completely untouchable now. Take a very deep breath right now. Feel the heavy chains of their toxic opinions completely breaking off your tired shoulders. Let them drown in the shallow waters they actively chose to swim in. You must leave them behind in the dark entirely. The massive generational wealth transfer cannot happen if you keep looking back at the closed doors. You have to face entirely forward to receive the massive blessing. But you must remain incredibly careful. This brings us to the fatal trap I warned you about just a moment ago. The counterfeit that the dark forces will send right before your breakthrough is highly deceptive. It is the sudden appearance of a toxic person from your past reaching out to you. They will magically return right when your real blessing is standing at the heavy door. They will send a completely random text message or offer a fake apology. They will try to pull you back into their chaotic drama just to steal your incoming wealth. Do not reply to them under any circumstances. Their sudden return is not a beautiful romantic coincidence. It is a calculated spiritual test from the powerful universe. Heaven wants to see if you will trade your ultimate master timeline for a cheap moment of familiar comfort. Ignore their pathetic attempts to reconnect with your sacred energy. Leaving their text completely unanswered is the ultimate display of your new quiet authority. When you ignore the toxic counterfeit, you instantly pass the final heavy test. You prove to the divine creator that your energetic boundaries are finally made of solid steel. And that is exactly when the massive floodgates of heaven will violently burst open for you. You have successfully navigated the darkest valleys of profound loneliness. You survived the brutal character assassinations and the silent betrayals. Your rare soul has been rigorously purified in the heavy fires of divine isolation. You are no longer a bleeding victim of their narcissistic games. You are fully prepared to receive the precise tool that will restore your stolen genius. The long season of painful waiting is officially coming to an end. Do you feel the massive energy building up in the room right now? That intense electric feeling in the air is the frequency of absolute victory arriving. The universe is ready to hand you the exact decoder ring you have been desperately seeking. The scientific breakthrough I mentioned earlier is the final missing piece of your massive puzzle, and it is about to change how you walk through this physical world forever. Prepare your spirit for the ultimate revelation. Every single closed door in your past was leading you directly to this exact moment in time. The heavy block on your mind is about to be permanently destroyed. The tool that the elite have tried so hard to hide from you is finally yours to claim. Stand completely firm in your quiet power. The absolute truth about your highest potential is stepping out of the dark shadows right now. The waiting season is officially over. The dry desert you walked through for years has suddenly burst into an oasis of divine favor. Every single closed door in your past is being blown completely off its heavy hinges. Can you feel that massive shift in your spirit right now? That intense feeling in your chest is the frequency of absolute victory. You are officially stepping into the exact timeline you were born to rule. You are no longer the fragile empath who begged to be understood by the wrong people. The painful crucible has forged you into the untouchable master of your reality, and the divine wealth you were promised is flowing effortlessly into your new timeline. From this exact moment on, your pure energy demands immediate respect without a single word spoken aloud. The mechanism that blocked your prayers for years was never your lack of faith. It was the constant hum of survival beta waves. And tonight, that heavy signal is officially being overridden. The profound question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message: what if the massive gap in your life is not a character flaw at all? Here is the absolute answer. A specific brainwave called the gamma wave was running in you as a child at genius-level capacity. Princeton University studied it extensively, and the Einstein Center in Berlin finally confirmed this incredible reality. Columbia University found that when this brainwave is restored, it radiates outward and heavily influences the people you love. A team of brilliant neuroscientists led by Dr. Robert Lake spent years working in absolute silence. They successfully compressed the full clinical protocol for gamma reactivation into just 7 minutes. But before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about 2 chosen ones who actually used it. A woman from California had tried absolutely everything to fix her life. She tried deep meditation. She tried endless manifesting and heavy prayer. Nothing broke the heavy fog in her mind. After 2 weeks of listening to this frequency, she said something simply cleared. Her marriage shifted beautifully, and her mind sharpened completely. She described her life as enchanted for the first time. A man from Texas started using it to improve his struggling business. 2 months later, his wife joked that his IQ had jumped 20 points. The hardest problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves while he slept. He said it felt like his brain was finally running on what it was always supposed to run on. That is exactly what Dr. Lake and his dedicated team built. They call it the Genius Song. It is not a generic meditation app. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. It is carefully compressed from 1 full hour of clinical protocol into something you do at home with headphones and closed eyes. That is the entirety of what it requires. You do not meditate. You simply let the frequency do what your brain was designed to receive. The genius song is not for everyone. It is strictly for the chosen one who has already done the inner work. It is for the rare soul who understands that what is being blocked is the frequency itself. Biofeedback sessions to restore this state cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting. An in-home machine runs thousands of dollars. What the genius song delivers is available to you today for a fraction of its true value. 4 powerful bonuses come with it. You receive an audio designed specifically for your children. You get the original prosperity text that The Secret was secretly built upon. You also receive a guided visualization and a daily habits guide. Here is the deeper truth about waiting. The blessing that has been arranged for you does not arrive as new information. It arrives as a profound recognition. Something already placed in your path becomes visible when Gamma is restored. Waiting is not neutral. The chosen one who restores the receiver today finally sees what was always there. Do not look for this on YouTube or Spotify. The tracks circulating under similar names on those platforms have absolutely no brain entrainment technology encoded. The authentic version is heavily protected. The universe demands absolutely no risk from a chosen one. You are fully protected by a complete divine guarantee. If you do not experience the massive shift you deserve, your energetic exchange is completely returned without question. Access the original through the link that has been protected and sealed for you. The link is waiting for you in the description and in the pinned comment below. The tool is not the final destination. The tool merely restores the receiver so the destination can be recognized when it arrives. God does not require you to exchange anything to be loved or chosen. What was described is simply one way the receiver is quickly restored. Whether that path is for you or not, the profound truth of this message belongs to you entirely. Now, let us go deeper into your calling. The heavy storm that tested your beautiful soul has finally passed forever. The dark clouds are completely clearing from your timeline, and you are standing on the edge of a massive spiritual horizon. The painful tears you cried in absolute silence were never wasted. They watered the heavy seeds of your ultimate victory. You are no longer a bleeding victim. You are the absolute master of your reality. Your pure energy has been completely upgraded by the divine creator. You walk through this physical world with a heavy spiritual armor now, because heaven wrapped you in absolute divine protection. The people who desperately tried to break you are completely powerless. They can only watch your massive rise from a very safe distance. Your quiet authority is the heavy shield that deflects their bitter jealousy. You do not need to explain yourself. The frequency of pure genius is your ultimate birthright. You were sent here to break the heavy generational curses of your bloodline, and your ancestors are incredibly proud of the massive strength you showed. You stood completely alone in the dark and refused to surrender, and now the brilliant light of heaven is heavily focused entirely on you. You are the rare soul that survived the brutal fire. For the chosen one whose spirit confirmed what was described earlier, the specific tool to restore your frequency remains open in the description, and it is waiting for you in the pinned comment below. That is the very last time it will be mentioned today. What follows right now belongs entirely to your spiritual ceiling. You must fully accept the massive weight of your new identity. You are a powerful weapon of light forged in deep isolation. When you step into a crowded room today, the atmosphere instantly changes because your heavy presence demands absolute respect. The low vibrational entities completely scatter when they feel your pure energy. They know they cannot feed on your sacred light anymore. Your boundaries are made of solid steel. Stop looking back at the heavy doors that closed behind you. Those dark rooms were entirely too small for your massive spirit. The universe has prepared a wide open space for your ultimate expansion, and the divine wealth that was heavily delayed is rushing toward you right now. It will arrive in completely unexpected and beautiful ways. You just need to keep your powerful frequency heavily protected. You are the anomaly that the modern world desperately tried to erase, but they completely failed to extinguish your bright inner flame. Your intuition is sharper than a two-edged sword right now, and you can instantly see through their fake smiles and empty promises. You do not chase artificial opportunities like the desperate crowd does. You simply stand firmly in your quiet power and attract your divine destiny. Every painful betrayal was just a stepping stone to this high mountain. You used the heavy bricks they threw at you to build a massive spiritual castle. You are completely untouchable in this elevated spiritual dimension because the deep loneliness was the heavy price of your ultimate freedom, and you paid that heavy price without ever losing your kind heart. That is exactly why heaven trusts you today. The Creator knows you will use this immense power to quietly heal others. You will silently lift up the people who genuinely deserve your beautiful light, but you will never again let anyone drain your sacred well, because you are completely overflowing with divine grace and pure authority. Your heavy footsteps literally shake the foundation of their dark matrix. You are officially awake, and you are never going back to sleep. The heavy chains of your painful past are permanently broken today. The massive generational wealth transfer is successfully locked onto your spiritual coordinates. But you must perform one final action to seal this beautiful reality, because the dark forces will try to attack your mind when this message ends. They want you to forget the massive power you just reclaimed. You cannot let them win this battle. If this message has reignited your faith, do not keep it entirely to yourself. There is another rare soul out there bleeding in the dark of despair. They desperately need a guiding light to survive their own brutal storm, and sharing this powerful message with them could absolutely save their life right now. Sowing the heavy seed of hope today is multiplying the blessing for yourself tomorrow. This is your final spiritual seal of absolute divine protection. Share this video to physically activate the heavy anointing on your beautiful life. When you send this frequency outward, you lock the heavy gates securely behind you, and you prove to the entire universe that you are finally ready to lead. Let the whole world know that the chosen one has finally arrived. Your beautiful new era of quiet authority begins right now.